Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're leaving the sunlit world far behind us. We're journeying deep into the dark, echoing depths of the earth, following the adventuring company known as the Gnolls Bane. Imagine, if you will, the sheer, crushing weight of an entire mountain pressing down from above. We're diving into the 36th entry of their chronicles, an absolutely epic account of their descent into a place of literal legend, Hammerdeep. It's this massive, hidden dwarven kingdom, a fortress carved directly into the ancient bones of the mountain itself. The air is thick, the shadows are incredibly long, and honestly, the stakes could not be higher. Let's dive right in. They were not welcomed as heroes, nor as enemies. They stepped into Hammerdeep as unknowns. That perfectly captures the incredible tension of this threshold moment, right? When the Gnolls Bane finally breached the heavy gates of Hammerdeep, there are no parades, there are no cheering crowds throwing petals at their feet. But on the flip side, there are no drawn swords either. Instead, they step into this heavy, almost suffocating atmosphere of pure suspicion. In an isolated, highly fortified dwarven kingdom like this, being an unknown is perhaps the absolute most dangerous thing you can be. Every single eye is on them, assessing, calculating, just waiting for a single wrong move. Section 1. Welcome to Hammerdeep, the beating heart of the mountain. So as the party is escorted inward under the incredibly watchful eyes of the Dwarven Guard, we start to get a true sense of the sheer scale of this place. They spiral downward, past these upper tiers filled with intricately carved stone homes and echoing marketplaces, moving continuously deeper. And at the bottom, they are met with an overwhelming sensory overload, the massive forges of Hammerdeep. Just try to picture this for a second. There are literal rivers of molten iron flowing like living fire right beneath their boots, separated only by thick iron grates. The heat is just blistering. And all around them is this deafening rhythmic symphony of dwarven smiths hard at work, drawing metal, shaping it, striking with a relentless practiced precision. It's a true testament to dwarven industry, a roaring engine of creation hidden entirely away from the outside world. Now, waiting for them amidst all those sparks and smoke is quite the formidable welcoming committee. They're immediately confronted by the commanders of this subterranean realm. On one side, you have this black-haired captain of the guard. He's stern, absolutely immovable, literally like a granite wall. And on the other side, a silver-haired general whose piercing gaze alone feels like a physical test of your worth. The questioning they faced is harsh. It is not gentle by any means. But here's where the narrative really shifts. Talonar, one of the Gnolls Bane, flat out refuses to bow. He meets their intense scrutiny with unflinching steel of his own. His sharp words clash right against that famous dwarven pride, but crucially, he doesn't break. And because he holds his ground, he earns something incredibly rare from these commanders: genuine respect. Word had actually already reached the royal family, and thanks to Talonor's iron spine, the party is granted temporary freedom to roam the city. Section 2. Whispers in the Deep. Ancient lore and dark rumors. Given a few hours to recover before their big royal audience, the party scatters across the city. Talonor heads straight to the Temple of Palor and unearths some lore that expands this whole mystery to a cosmic scale. Check this out. In the First Era, the world was whole, sustained by 3 great crystals of unimaginable power. Then, the Second Era brings a massive betrayal by the angel Asmodeus, who essentially seeks to corrupt all of creation. This leads right into the Third Era, Palor's Wrath, a cataclysm that literally shatters the world. Fast forward to now, the Fourth Era, and only one crystal remains intact. So why does this matter? The crucial point is that this ancient history isn't just some dusty old myth. The past is bleeding directly into the present, and whatever the Gnolls Bane are walking into is tied directly to this fractured divine history. Meanwhile, down in the taverns where the ale is flowing freely, the rest of the party is hearing much more recent, localized horrors. They hear terrified whispers of a fallen dwarven city called Irondale. But the crazy thing is, it wasn't swallowed by war. It was swallowed by something else. And then a name is passed quietly between hushed voices: Uzgul. It's not just a name, it's an omen. It is a terrifying puzzle piece that proves the Gnolls Bane haven't just walked into a secure stronghold. They've walked into a creeping, unnatural mystery that threatens the very foundations of the Dwarven realm. Section 3. The King's Dire Quest. An audience in golden firelight. Night eventually falls, and beneath these massive, vaulted stone ceilings, illuminated by golden firelight, the party stands before King Dornic's stone crown. And the king? He does not mince words. He speaks plainly to the party, giving them a single chilling number: 200. 200 heavily armed Dwarven soldiers had recently marched into the depths below the city. They were escorted by a druid named Henrik Featherstep. You might remember him as the father of Cedric. And out of those 200 elite soldiers, 0 returned. No messages were sent back, no bodies were found, just complete, absolute silence. Think about that. An entire army vanished without a trace. And this brings an immense, crushing emotional weight to the room. The king, sitting right there on his throne, looks at this small band of adventurers and makes a desperate request. He asks the Gnolls Bane to go where his military might utterly failed. He asks them to step into the dark, to find the truth and to finish what was begun. I mean, it is a request laced with almost certain death, yet, after some careful words and measured thought, the party accepts the quest. Section 4, Stone, Strength, and Ale, the celebrations of Sigyn Tarog. Now, you might think a suicide mission warrants some quiet reflection, right? Well, not here. This is a Dwarven kingdom. The tension of impending doom is momentarily washed away by boisterous Dwarven culture, and at the center of this roaring celebration is the Sigyn Tarach, a legendary test of strength. We are talking literal stone against strength, blow against blow. We have King Dornick himself stepping up to face Okasaki of the Gnolls Bane. The task? Shattering great boulders in a single strike. For 9 grueling rounds, they match each other perfectly. Stone shatters, the crowds are absolutely thundering with cheers. It's this incredible display of shared respect. But on the 10th round, Okasaki finally falters. The king's strike lands true, shattering his boulder, and King Dornick takes the win. The hall just erupts in laughter and deep mutual respect. It's awesome. Of course, after the feats of strength comes the ale. Thene, perhaps feeling a little bit too confident, accepts a Dwarven drinking challenge. Now, we all know how this usually goes for non-dwarves, right? Well, the result was swift. Thane was completely unconscious before the 3rd cup had even settled in his stomach. So just a little word of advice for all of us: never, ever challenge a dwarf to a drinking contest in their own mountain. It won't end well. Section 5, the Boomstick Accord, gearing up for the unknown. As morning breaks over the underground city, the laughter fades, replaced by a cold, driving purpose. The Gnolls Bane make their way back to the blistering heat of the forges. Waiting for them is Golba Defoe, a brilliant, if slightly chaotic, goblin inventor. Look, stepping into the dark requires unprecedented tools, and Golba places into their hands the very first weapons of their kind in this realm: boomsticks. They are crude, they are deafeningly loud, and honestly, they are incredibly dangerous, perhaps as dangerous to the user as they are to the enemy. But above all, they are revolutionary. It's a massive technological leap forward, handed to the Gnolls Bane as a desperate equalizer against whatever it is that lurks below. And that brings us to the end of the 36th entry. The party is armed, they are respected, and they are standing right on the precipice of the abyss. The path ahead leads only deeper into untouched darkness. They're walking into a suffocating silence that has already swallowed 200 elite Dwarven warriors. And somewhere far below, in the terrifying shadows of Uzgul, the druid Henrik Featherstep awaits. But the lingering, chilling question you have to ask yourself is this: will they find him in life or in something far worse? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time as we delve even deeper.